strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
What's really going on?
Hey.
What's really going on? Hey. Oh, wait a minute. We live.
We are.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? You've tuned in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my very good girlfriend, Coach Cash herself, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And here we are tonight, once again, rocking you, bringing you that show that you all have come to know, love, and embrace. And we are absolutely grateful for each and every one of you tuning in on tonight. And I want to take this opportunity to say, hey, y'all, hey, to all of our replay viewers who are going to catch the show at a later date and time. We appreciate your support. Why don't you go ahead and tell a friend? If you're enjoying what the growth and development and all the great things you see and hear happening here on the platform, tell somebody about it. Help us grow our numbers as we grow right along with you. You know, we like to stay in touch with our audience. So listen, y'all already know I got to go ahead and greet my good sister friend before we get into tonight's rundown. So I got to ask you, Coach Cash, how you doing? How was your day, sis?
The day went very well, right? Not without attempts, as you know, we always say. But I made a decision really, really early, probably before the sun came up, that today was going to be a good day. And I worked on today being a very, very good day. And so now I get to report to you today was a good day. You know, doing those things on purpose. So glad to have another week. Excited for what we're going to get into today. You know, when we get a chance to get together, it's always a good time. But just appreciating that, I don't know. I had a couple of days of things just slowing down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. So got to appreciate those days and those moments where you get to sort of recoup so that we could be on go again. You know how we do. And so now I got to turn the tables and say, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty okay. You know, everything's been a little bit shady. I got to be honest. You know, I like to keep it 100 as often as I can.
That's what
with
we're going to do.
Everything that's been going on in the political world, you know, I have to say openly that my horns have been out a little bit. So I had to pray for myself because I'm charged to interact with others and serve the community in which I dwell. I don't want to leave any bodies behind. You know, we like to keep the body count low.
0.
So much like yourself, for the last 2 days, I have been intentionally making sure I end each day on a good note. But you already know, sis has a hard time being fake. All right. So in my struggle bus situation, I got to be honest. Confession is good for the soul. Yesterday, I had to say goodbye to a particular location where I've been employed over the last couple of years. I've had to say goodbye. But there are some people there that kind of rub me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And that don't happen too often, Karen, because I'm very loving, I'm very giving. I try to be kind and demure, as I try and hold these superstar dreams intact and walk in humility
Mm-hmm.
everywhere I go. So, I got to embrace one of the young women that I've been working with. You know how I have this innate ability to see someone's heart, and her heart is absolutely golden. Um, so it wasn't necessarily goodbye. It was see you later, as we embraced. And, you know, there's some things that we've supported each other through over the last couple of years. And I could tell she was, kind of having a hard time watching me walk away, because I saw the tears in her eyes. And like I just said, it wasn't necessarily goodbye. It's see you later. Because
Right.
I do have the opportunity to work with her again in the very, very near future. So
That's
my life is filled with swift transition, even as we've been on the show, preparing for tonight's show. I happened to check my email, and I saw where I've been presented yet another employment opportunity. So when we get off of these here airwaves on tonight, I do need to send a response to that.
that's
So I'm grateful for you, Karen. I'm grateful for the tribe,
yeah.
always praying for me
Always.
and praying for one another,
Amen.
because so many great things are happening with us. I want to go ahead and shout out our good tribe member, our favorite influencer, personal trainer extraordinaire, Sister Yolanda Lucas. She moving
Woo, woo,
up.
woo,
She's
woo,
moving up. And
woo.
she's had some issues with plantar fasciitis. But y'all already know she turned that into a creative moment, and she's been using her pain for purpose, and
Yes.
educating people about what they can do to relieve themselves of the pain of that particular ailment. So once again, I'm excited to be here tonight. Enough of my jabberjawing, because look, we got some good home training, y'all.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
And I see that our guest is out there on the porch, and I do
Yes.
not want to belabor the Albert.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord, he done rang the doorbell. Please, sir,
Mm.
please don't be impatient. We got you, boo. We're gonna let you in here in a couple minutes, all right? But check it out. I want to go ahead and give you the rundown for tonight's show. Of course, y'all saw that flyer I was circulating on this week. We have a wonderful guest sitting in with us tonight. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk a whole lot about what's really going on. We're gonna share some views from the Petty Pew, and of course, we're gonna take a trip merrily down the stream. And of course, we're going to share another music break featuring one of our very own tribe members, because that's what we do. People don't realize that we do some coaching behind the scenes, Coach Cash.
They might think these are just names.
They might think these are just names, but we got certifications and letters and documents to prove that we are exactly who we say we are on this side of heaven. But check it out. It's very, 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 very substantial that heaven knows us in detail and by name. So,
Yeah.
listen, one
Yeah.
quick shout out, one quick super fan shout out before our
All
guests
right.
off us. Okay. Give me a drum roll, please.
All righty. Let's get the drum roll going on. There you
Listen,
go.
some of us choose not to believe in miracles. Me personally, I believe miracles happen every day. And you know why I believe in part of the reason why I believe in miracles, Karen? Because I get to witness your son. Tonight's super fan shout out goes out to your baby Ray. That's right, Raymond Sims. Listen, sweetheart, I have been watching you for years, living out loud, loving out loud. And honey, why did the enemy try you? We've never really had a full conversation. All it has taken is one look, I believe and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you love me and you trust me simply because you've seen how I care for your mother over the years. But baby, let me tell you, you are an inspiration to me, because I remember the testimony and the word that was spoken over you when they said what you would never do again. Honey, I cried like I was your mama. Okay, even though I'm one of your favorite aunties, I cried because I got to see you bowling. So tonight's superfan shout out goes to you, sir. I cannot wait until you get back on stage and recite them lines as if nothing ever happened. You keep living bold. You keep living strong, knowing that an army of angels goes before you. We love you here at the show. We are your distant support system. Baby boy, I am so proud of you. So look, all right, let me take some water because I've been talking a lot.
Yes.
Guest. Yes. Whoo, Lord. Tonight's guest. Listen, it's funny how time flies when you're having fun, and certain opportunities make you take a look back in a not so distant past. Tonight's guest, when I reached out to him to go ahead and schedule tonight's conversation, I actually did it in the most unconventional way. Y'all know I try to be professional, but I went through Facebook Messenger because this man got 9 jobs, or at least I thought he only had 9 jobs when I contacted him. And I was able to see that he reached out to me back in the year 2018 concerning some radio business at the time. Look, go ahead and let him in as I'm going ahead.
See what we doing here.
Tonight's guest is our brother, Daniel Duch. Hey, Daniel. Welcome to the platform, brother. How are you
hear
doing?
us?
Can you hear us?
Okay.
Check your sound, brother. All right. So look, I'm going to keep talking about him in front of his face. Like I said, when I reached out to him, initially,
there we go.
There
All right,
we go.
We hear you.
I thought it was just 9 jobs that he was working when I reached out to him. And we shared a chuckle when he made the quick adjustment and letting me know that he actually works 22 Jamaican jobs, man.
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm grateful for your presence on tonight, brother Daniel. And if I was to quote one of my favorite movies, The 5 Heartbeats, to begin our conversation with you on tonight, I'm going to ask you, Daniel, what is it that you don't do? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Nikki. I appreciate you for having me. What I don't do, well, there's 2 things I don't do. I don't deal with the devil, and I don't put up with people's trap.
Wait a minute. Now you don't. Wait a minute. Stop right there.
I appreciate you starting it right off from the bat. Yes, we're gonna need our fans tonight.
You're gonna need the first fan tonight. We going.
That's okay. Hey, listen, I'm ready. Let's go.
Bring it. That's why we brought you here, because I believe the perception about our platform is that we're a talk show that focuses on the showcasing the voices of women in our communities, and that is absolutely not the case. I love hearing the male perspective. How else do you think I keep my halo tiltable? Because I listen to the
gotta have us there to hold it for you.
Hey, I'm saying, and help adjust it when it needs adjusting, because
right.
I've been a champion for the cause of men and their emotional health for a long time. And we don't get to the root of that particular matter until we have conversation. So, Daniel, what I would like to ask you right now is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Can you share with us, a little bit about your upbringing, about your background in the entertainment industry?
Well, 51 years young. Been an Allentown native for 51 years. Born and raised out in Allentown, an original Allentonian. Raised by black father, white mother. It was definitely a good upbringing because everybody has 2 families, but my family was exceptional. Like, both sides of my family were good. You know, they were both in our lives. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. We all have troubles and tribulations. You know what I mean? But we always stayed family. You know, my grandfather, my great grandfather, was the one of the original creators of the Black movement in the Lehigh Valley, Mr. Hamp Webb. And you know, I just feel like I need to follow in his footsteps in bringing the, you know, family and community and just everybody together. Thus, what started me with the radio, because, you know, I just felt that that was the only way that I could bring together, you know, different types of people. Because on my network, I had rock, rap, talk, history, arts. You know, I had some of everything, so that way you know, you were able to enjoy all facets of the community and you know, the world. And plus I got to display that voice I got. You know, I gotta put that on too, you know. But but other than that, you know, I just really was raised with, you know, it's better to go straight through than it is to go around the bend. You know, it's always good to tell the truth. It's always good to go with your first instinct, you know. And it's always good to make sure that you have just good people in your corner, which I've had for 51 years. So I appreciate them for that.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now, you just shared with us that you're an Allentown native born to an interracial couple. Um,
Yes.
Me only being in this area upwards of 20 years now, I do want to ask you, what was it like for you being an interracial child growing up in the Lehigh Valley region?
Ooh. Well, um, I mean, I'll put the bi out there. My mother's family disowned my mom because of the fact that she had a black baby. And then you could figure out, you know, what happened after that with some of them. You know, I mean, majority of the family was good, but you know, you can figure what happened. You know, nobody talked. Everybody had their opinions. You know, things of that nature. Being, as we call it, light skin in the era of when I was growing up wasn't a good thing, because we were always the ladder of everybody. We weren't black, we weren't white, we were just the throwaway light skinned. You know what I mean? We were like the bastard child, you know, because of the fact that we didn't have any true ethnicity. We were just all over everywhere, you know. So I dealt with racism. I got brutally beat up by the cops in my teens. I mean, just job wise, you know, I feel that I could have went a lot further, because, you know, being a, and I say this heavy, being a chosen one that God has placed here on this earth to be able to make differences, um, it trembles a lot of people. You know what I mean? It puts a lot of fear in people's hearts. And because I feel that He's put me in that position to be a chosen one, I've used that to my advantage of voicing my opinion, not allowing people to treat me a certain way, you know, bringing the God works to the forefront when it's time, you know. So it just really made me see that, you know, I had to do something different, you know. And I mean, when I was younger, you know, I tried being in groups, you know, black groups, white groups, you know, because again, I was looking for my identity, you know. And then when I found my identity was when I started to hang around with multicultural people. You know, it wasn't basically about, you know, me being black or me being white. It was about the diversity that everybody had, that we all shared these common things. The only thing that separated us was the color of our skin. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I mean, in my grown years, man, I've faced a lot of racism, you know, and I still face it to this day, you know, because of the fact of, again, I'm a strong-minded man. You know, I'm going to allow what is only allowed, and I'm not going to allow you to make me feel like a person that's any lesser than you, you know. So, you know, I hate racism. I do not like the fact that we don't allow each other to grow within inside of one another, if you know what I mean, meaning like you don't allow anybody in, you know, you're not doing what God wants us to do and be all one people. And I've always lived by the motto that we are one in one, because we are. You know what I mean? There's no difference between us.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love that you brought that conversation to the forefront. I've been throwing around John 3:16 a whole lot in these last few weeks, because I'm like, y'all forget that's the principal scripture of what we say we believe in, with so many
Amen.
people acting out in a racial capacity. So Karen, do you have any questions for Daniel?
You know I do. So Daniel, I appreciate the opportunity
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you.
to connect with you, and I see that you are a supporter of community, right?
Absolutely.
Can you tell our viewers, listeners, however they connecting with us, why that's so important to you to kind of not just be a behind the scenes person, but really getting your hands in the mix of what's going on in the community?
Well, I'm going to jump back to a story back when I was younger. Um, I saw my father on stage at Civic Theater in Allentown doing some acting. And, I saw my mother, being out there, being in the spotlight, just being natural. You know what I mean? And by seeing those two things, I always told my mother and my father, I said, I'm going to make sure that people remember me before I leave here. I'm going to make sure that people understand the depth of giving that God has put on my heart to be able to change my directive, you know what I mean, as well as everybody else's directive, and I do it because I live it and I breathe it. And I mean that because I get up, I go to work, I serve people. I serve people after work. I serve people while I'm at home. I serve people that call me. You know what I mean? So I just feel like that's what God called me to do, was to be a servant and to not worry about, like, I mean, many people don't know that I don't have my kids in my life. You know what I mean? I don't have a lot of things, I have a lot of drama that goes on in my life, but I don't show that because it's selfish of me to allow myself to put my burdens on somebody else who has no idea what I'm going through. You know what I mean? And they may have their own things going on too, and that's why he gave us the ability to drop to our knees and ask for forgiveness and ask for prayer, ask for, things that we see in our life that are out of line. We can ask him to help us put it back in the line. And I feel the more and more closer I grew to God, the more and more closer I grew to his way of thinking for our lives, it makes it easier for me to be a servant. You know, it's definitely easier.
Good job. Appreciate you sharing that. So, what are some of the initiatives that you've been putting your hand to lately?
Well, I just hired a manager for the warehouse. I do have, like she said, man, me have 6 4 job,
Yes,
25 but that thing. Um, so I have a junk removal company. I have a moving company. I also have a studio where I do my podcast. But what I've been doing is I just hired a manager for the studio that is going to be managing everything, meaning he's going to be managing the junk removal, the moving, and me as a person. He's going to be managing me to get back into going back on to my podcast. I have that big facility, so I need to use it because it ain't getting used if it's just sitting there. But I also have a Thanksgiving dinner that I do. Started last year, but I'm going to be doing every year, called Thankful Giving Day,
awesome.
which gives back to the community and allows us to not only bring people in from that have problems with getting food, like families and stuff like that, but it also allows me to send street soldiers out to the community with plates, hot food, down to these places like Fifth and Allen, the bus station, what is it called, Tent City. You know what I mean? It allows me to take hot food to them. So the initiatives keep growing with the more and more people that believe in my vision. And that's one thing that we as people tend to fend away from our vision, because we don't see people feeding into our vision. So we're like, I'm not going to do that because nobody else. But I've been blessed with, again, the fact that I've done so much in the community that literally right after this call, I got about 20 people on a line that I got to get to, so that way we can make this Thankful Giving Day happen. So, I
Beautiful.
mean, other than that, just staying focused, getting more closer with people, allowing myself to do different things, experience different things, because that's what life's about, and don't live in the moment, just continue on living that moment every day.
Love that, love that. So appreciative to hear about it. You know,
Amen.
we here at Unhinged Live are always looking for ways that one we can connect with community, but we are givers as well. So we love to connect with other people who understand the power of impact when one or two of us come together, right? And
Yes.
so super excited about that. We want to keep hearing about what you've got going on with
Amen.
that Thanksgiving initiative. So Thankful Giving Day. I love that.
Yep.
And how can folks kind of learn more about what those things are, and how can we, support it? We know we got a lot of places we could support when it comes to holiday time, but if each of us do a little bit in the corners that we know, it definitely will be going a long way. So what's the best way that people can sort of learn more about that particular initiative?
If they could just log on to Facebook and just look up Thankful Giving. It's with two full with FULL instead of Thankful Thanksgiving Day. But you can look there. You can Google it. I Googled it the other day and it came up, which is
Okay.
like whoa, you know. But you can. I mean, you can always follow me on Facebook, Instagram. What else am I on? LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn for a very long time as Daniel Duch. You can follow me on Instagram as DJ D Smooth because yes, I do DJ too.
Okay. Decent.
Which I got an event this weekend. But yeah, just follow me because my journey isn't only my journey; it's your journey too. You know what I mean? Because of the way that I live my life, I have to make sure that you're able to look in the mirror when you see me because I'm an image of God. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to dictate.
Good stuff.
But I do have one more thing that I want to say.
Yeah.
We're
Um,
not done with
because
you.
we
This
are live on the
is
air, and I know that this is unhinged, and I'm about to get unhinged real quick with this. But yeah, there you go. Take it out. Being in the Black heritage that I am, um, I love my Black people. I love my sisters. I love my brothers. And there comes a time in your life when you feel something that comes upon you when you need to change something in your life and you need to stand up for something. And the one thing that came across my heart to deliver to you people today is my brothers, my sisters, we got to stop this. We got to stop going against the grain. We are kings, queens, emperors. We are people that have high authority, but we continue to not utilize our authority within our own bodies, minds, spirits, just within our communities. We choose the latter of allowing the other to dictate what we're going to do. So my brothers and my sisters, I appeal to you to join forces, get with your neighborhood people, get with your neighbors, see what kind of businesses they got, get together because and I hate to say it this way, but look at how many other nationalities are growing. I'll leave it at that. Thank
You
you.
speaking nothing but the truth. So tonight, I'm no longer referring to you as Daniel. I'm literally calling you the chosen one because you are
Amen.
absolutely
Thank you.
mirroring my heart for humanity and what you just said.
Yes,
So I
yes.
want to go ahead and just turn the conversation just a bit because you shared with us that you got to witness your father on stage at the
Yes.
Allentown Civic Theater in your youth. And I must say, baby, I was sitting front row center when you hit the stage in the Allentown Civic Theater's production of The Color Purple. And oh my
Thank
goodness,
you.
the entire cast blew me away. You were
Yes. I'm gonna show you
surrounded in
something.
that.
Look.
I love it. We on the move.
That's it, always on the move.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Monumental moment
Oh
I can
yeah.
imagine in your life.
Yes. Yep.
And
That's exactly what
also
it was.
in the lives of the people you were able to connect with in that cast.
Yes.
You actually got to minister because that's what y'all did on that stage. Y'all got to minister. You got to minister with my sister Nayla Shea.
She
I
got
call
that
her
voice,
something
boy.
else because we grew up in the Aline Gilmore Memorial Tabernacle Church of God in Christ in Patterson, New Jersey. I sang with her for a number of years. So I've got to ask you, what was it like to stand on the stage where your father's feet once stood?
Well, when I was, and I keep referring back to when I was younger, because I always said to people that I've always wanted to touch the stage that my dad did. You know, I always looked up to him because I used to sit when he would rehearse, when he lived on Lehigh Street in Allentown. We used to sit at the piano and he used to rehearse his lines. He would do the piano and like it just like put something on me like, man, I want to feel that. You know what I mean? Because I seen him so happy, you know, and then when I finally got to experience that, it made me feel like now I know why he chased that. You know what I mean? Because it was a great feeling. You know, I've never in my life, I've been doing radio for a long time. I've been doing a little acting for a long time. I have never, ever, ever been so choked up not to cry at the end of a show in my life because it was such a, like, I never wanted it to end, you know, because like you said, the cast, the crew, everybody was on point, everybody. And it was like we were meant to be there. You know what I mean? Like nobody else should have played Celie. Nobody else should have played Paul. Nobody, everybody had their specific things that they were chosen for and that just made it pop. You know, and then Freddie Walker, oh my God, hands down, great director. You know what I mean? I got to, do some jobs for her afterwards because, I'm always promoting my job. But after that, we talked about, the play and everything. And it was like, she was not even, like feeling it. I'm like, girl, you better get up. Shoot, we had a great show. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, it was a great experience. And will I do it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just talking to my boy about that the other day. I was like, well, I need to get back on the stage again because it's just, I don't know, it's just something I feel, I just want to be able to be displayed, as they say, because you can't hide, as they say, you can't hide silver. It shines too much.
Oh, come on now. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, we warned our sister, Audrey Dindy Hightower. You had the opportunity to work with her on production. Now, we warned her once she got on that stage, she was going to be bitten by the acting bug, and she would continue to do it over and over again. And we've watched her blossom as a great performer. To this day, she out here in these streets. I like to tease her and and make sure that everybody knows when Audrey comes up missing, she out there somewhere shaking her shimmy. She out there shaking her shimmy, and I am so proud of her.
Yes, I just saw her the other day.
Awesome.
Ran into her. She was like, "Hey!" I was like, "What up, girl?"
Let me find out you can mimic her voice perfectly, Daniel.
Oh yes. Hey.
Always with open arms of love.
Yes, right? Always. Absolutely. Yes. It was a pleasure working with everyone.
Oh yeah, what you got, Karen? I see you over there with the church.
I mean, I'm enjoying the connection and hearing about your story, Daniel. All of us, and I know it well. I used to be a stage crew person, and then somebody said, "Hey, I got a role for you." One of our good sisters, and it was like, "We're gonna put you in front of the stage," and I ain't seen the back of the stage since. That's all we're gonna say.
I hear that. That's what's up. Yeah,
it is a blessing.
It is.
To be able to use our gifts in a creative way, right? God has afforded us that opportunity. And so I'm just geeking out on getting to learn more about your journey, getting to see the people who we got some connections with, Audrey and Maribel and who else over there, I'm stalking your page a little bit, like who are these people?
It's okay. All right, that's what it's there for.
Oh, that's what it's there for.
We put all our business out in the street.
We don't
Not all my business.
Enough, right?
You don't see no personal stuff on there. I don't do the personal stuff.
Me either.
You get a quote when I'm mad at the most.
That part. That part. I laughed because I put something up there, and I promise you I got all these questions, and I'm like, y'all know good and well I don't put personal stuff up here. So when y'all start trying to give it back, never mind, we're gonna delete this whole thing because y'all missed the whole point. Y'all gonna know enough. We remain very transparent. But one of the things that you said, Daniel, that is kind of our model here, right? We work with not just Tilted and myself, but with the whole tribe of folks, is that having people come alongside you, right? You got a vision, you got a dream, and everybody can't execute every portion of it, but everybody can come together, right? That many hands make light work. What has been that transition for entrepreneurship, for ministry, for anthropo hustler? What has been what has been that transition for you to get to that place to say, you know what, I have a vision and I need the people, and to kind of merge them together?
What it was for me was the fact that I felt that I kept continuously putting my blessings in other people's hands, meaning that I was spending my time, my money, my efforts, into making somebody else's vision of my partial vision go up. I wanted to own a car dealership and be a car detailer. It was just, I just got tired of utilizing it for everybody else. I wanted to be able to use what God has given me to be able to make my life better. And then it was also a transition when I first started getting back more and more into church. When the pastor said to me, he said, well, it was in one of his sermons, and he said, the worst thing that you could really do in your whole life is be in your bed laying there, and everything that God has given you is standing around your bedside looking at you, asking you, why you didn't utilize me, why you didn't do it, why, this could have been your ticket. So that's the reason why that I do everything. You know what I mean? Because I feel that if God puts it on your heart, then you should be able to do it. Especially with nowadays, you got YouTube, internet, you got everything at your beck and call when you need to learn something. So that's another reason why I don't know why there's not many entrepreneurs in the business, because you got it right there. You know what I mean? So I just utilized it, just to get away from somebody telling me that I couldn't be what God put me here to be. You know what I mean? That was basically it. Just got tired of utilizing for everybody else.
That is
Yes.
beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And I am appreciating, you have shared many, many nuggets on tonight, Daniel. And I know everything you've poured and shared on tonight is going to shift the trajectory of someone's life.
Amen.
Like I
Amen.
said to you earlier in the conversation, I love to heal the male perspective because it keeps me balanced as I continue to get my entrepreneur hustle on. Because similar to yourself, I do it all. It's just I have to pick and choose, because as I'm hustling, I always remember to honor my temple, because if my temple isn't in order, nothing else in my life will be. So I got to ask you, and I believe this is one of the last questions we'll be able to ask you, because you got to get on another call. You got more business to do, hustler. What do you do to maintain work-life balance?
Good question.
I force myself to just do it. Like, for instance, the other day, I really just was like, okay, you need to slow it. You need some basketball. You need something, because your body's really feeling it. So I just took the whole day off, literally just did whatever I wanted to do, and that's the luxury of being an entrepreneur hustler. You know what I mean? I can do that. You know what I mean? If I was working for somebody else, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, well, I need a day off. You know what I mean? No, I'm sorry, I got to call in sick. I need to use my PTO. No, 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 no. So I guess basically it's when I feel that I need it, I just take it. You know what I mean? Because there's days that I work 15 days straight, and don't do nothing. I go to work, come home, eat dinner, go take a shower, go to bed. You know what I mean? 15, 20 days straight. But I do make sure that I take that full 24, 48 hours of nothing. No phone, no TV, no nothing, because it brings me back to balance. And plus, um, every day I come home from work, I take 15 minutes to an hour. I come home, I sit in the quiet, I put on my jazz music, or I put on some chakra music, and I just sit and relax and just be at peace with myself. Because a lot of people would say, "Oh well, what do you do for yourself for self love and things like that? What are you taking care of?" Like you said, work life balance. Yeah, my work life balance. I can go out and ski, I can go do all that, but it's more as well as being centered with yourself. Like you said, that it's more about being in line with myself, so that way I'm able to continuously on feed the people what God has put on my heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Daniel, it has been an absolute pleasure. I want
Yes.
to go
Yes.
ahead and say
Thank
thank
you.
you to you publicly for agreeing to having this
No
conversation with
problem.
us
Thank
tonight.
you.
It's like
Thank
I've
you
been
for allowing
chasing
me.
you forever, man. So before I let you go and hop on to your next meeting, again, can you remind our listeners how they can connect with you to utilize one of your 900 gifted jobs? Okay. How
Well,
can they
I'm gonna
connect with you?
I'm gonna just do one simple thing. Just Google my name. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it, like being 100% buck. Just Google my first and last name of Allentown, and all of my links will come up, from my LinkedIn, my Instagram, to my all out removal website, to the Facebook pages, and I do a lot more too. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more stuff that I'm working on that is just going to come out too. Like, I'm in school for construction, so that way I can help employ more people in the community. So there's a lot going on. So just Google me, you know, and that's not in a sarcastic way, everybody.
There is no arrogance in that, sweetheart, because I find myself telling people the exact same thing. Sweetheart, just Google me and you're gonna learn all about your girl.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. So I want to say one thing. So
Yes.
when I say, people always walk up to me, and I want everybody to use this on a regular basis. I'm giving away one of the Betty Crocker secrets. All right.
Okay, let me
Love it.
write
So
this
when
down.
somebody walk up to you, and it makes me feel good to say this every time, but when somebody walks up to me and they say, "Hey, how you doing?" I got three things I say. I say, "I'm too blessed to be stressed, too anointed to be disappointed, and glad I'm above and not below." You
All right.
understand? So take that with you. You know what I mean? And remember that God is love.
All day.
All day, every single
All right, I
day.
try to make it hard. Thank you.
Appreciate you so much,
Thank you,
Daniel. Look
Daniel.
forward
All right,
to
y'all have a blessed day.
See you soon, brother, somewhere out here in these Lehigh Valley streets.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I'll see you, sis.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. Be
Bye bye.
blessed.
Later, boo. All
Goodness. All
right, all
right.
right, all right. Thank you all for
That
tuning
was an
in.
espresso shot there.
Listen, y'all have tuned, baby. I'm all the way up right now because I had took a nap beforehand. Y'all know I love my little power naps. That's part of my self-care and work-life balance regimen. Y'all know the nap ministry is abundant
Yes.
here in the Tilted Halo Castle. But it was an espresso shot for the soul. And it, dare I say, it was the conversation we needed to have for
Yes.
such a time as this. I appreciate the way our brother challenged the community to step into their rightful place on tonight, because we are kings, we are queens, and to share a little bit more of my personal antics over the last week. I've been engaged in some of them dialogues on the interwebs, and I've often reminded people, you don't know your history, and I know you don't know your history by everything that you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been shutting those conversations down primarily with scripture. I'm not going to go back and forth with nobody. Um, I don't go back and forth too often anymore, even with God. He know I'm one of his stubborn children, but we don't go back and forth with anybody. I've just been laying the word on people and not even typing it out for them. I'm just going to give you the scripture reference point and challenge you to go back and do your homework. One scripture that started ringing when our brother started talking about work-life balance, Karen, was
Mm-hmm.
my Facebook cover sheet on my regular degular girl page. What is that? Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. It is very important that we all learn to slow it down and just recenter ourselves, as he said,
Absolutely.
recenter yourself and get back in alignment with the power that worketh within you. You know,
Mhm.
we forget sometimes where that term black girl magic
Mhm.
and black boy magic, people often associate that, in my opinion, Karen, with the things that we're able to do with our creative gifts. They limit it to the tangible part of it. But my
Right.
deal is this: when you out here walking in these streets and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are God's chosen one, listen, you're recognizing that the spirit of God rests heavily on the inside of you when you declare things like that.
Yeah.
So when I hear you calling yourself the chosen one and your kingdom lies in ruin, I got questions. That's why there's a why in Tilted Halo. I
Mhm.
got questions. But when I look at you, when you're proclaiming yourself as such, and I see this, that, baby, you know exactly who you are. Because if you know anything about the structure of the kingdom and the inner court and such, when it
Mhm.
comes to the temple, you know there's some of everything going
Yes.
on. That
Yes.
conversation just really blessed me, Karen.
Yes, it did. It did. And to all of our replay viewers, if you're not catching us tonight, or even those who are watching now, share this with somebody who you know will be blessed by watching the replay, by pressing play and hearing another voice in their ear. Maybe you've been trying to figure out, Lord, how can I encourage somebody to go the extra mile to understand? Listen, we don't always have to do this by ourselves, right? Many of us do that, but here we got Daniel out here all up. When I tell you, it don't take long, okay? I am professionally known for my investigative skills. Like, they pay me. It is my job to know where people are and how to find them. So when somebody says Google me, which I know I say that often, I'm gonna try to do it a little less arrogant, because I agree with Daniel. It's like, what you mean? I mean, I'm out here doing it for real. And so when we connect with people who are doing it for real and hear people mirror and mimic the model, right? That wasn't something
Mhm.
that I just said out of my head. These are conversations that you and I have had, Tilted. Like, who all understands that level of connectedness that we need to have? That it's not about just my brand, it's not about just your brand, but what if we supported each other enough where not only are you lifting while you're climbing, but you're also allowing, you pulling somebody else up, right? So it's climbing, it's lifting, you're pulling somebody else up, and you know what happens? It's no longer lonely at the top, because you've cultivated a culture of everybody winning, of everybody winning. And that looks different. Some people, we got to change our mindset about what winning actually looks like, right? Because we've been so, oh, well, only one winner at the top. Well, they do it with these kids. I don't really understand it. Everybody get a trophy. I'm not from that era that everybody got a trophy, but I'm here for it. I can support it in this current stage that I'm in. Everybody get a trophy. We all are celebrating life, and we get to go further. We would say to team, together everyone achieves more, and it sounded like something. Yeah, and in the words of our sister Nick, come on, each one teach one. We're not asking for you to take on the whole burden, but if you take on yours and I take on mine, and then we're all expanding. And since she out here, do we need to give a shout out to our sister Nick?
I
I'm
believe we do, since
feeling
she's
it in my
here.
shine.
And
She showed up.
we like to go ahead and give people their flowers while
Yes.
they can smell them. Nick, we got to, divert from what is usual, so to speak, here on the show, and go ahead and
Pick her
love
up.
on you publicly. This
Yes.
is our sister. our tribe photographer, actually, y'all. If you were at the events where the Tilted Halo Tribe 2.0, where we were involved, you got to experience the woman of God that
Yes.
is walking the earth
Yes.
in the person of Nick White. Can I tell you how her pull-up game is strong, y'all?
Please, because you know I got some stories.
Her pull-up game is strong, y'all. See, what had happened was she been following us and supporting us for a long time, and she caught my eye. We've served in ministry at our local faith community for years, so I knew who she was. But you know, I pay attention to certain lights that begin to flicker in my stratosphere. So I see her, and as life so often does, it caused our paths to cross.
Come on now.
And I began to be able to connect with her on a one-on-one and have the conversations. And my sister had the audacication. She didn't know who she was talking to in the moment. She told me, and she asked me to put her on. And I heard her the first time, but I never said anything. You know how I do, Karen. I'll hold something for months, sometimes even years, until I
Yes,
discern
you.
the Lord's
Yes.
appointed time. Well, let me tell you something. I'm sitting there, and you know how God just starts giving me direction in the moment, Karen. And I've learned to just work in those moments. I picked up the
Rolling.
phone and I said, "Hey, yo, Nick, we finna be over yonder on tonight. I would like you to come through and take some pictures." Now I know what's going on in her world, but guess what? Sis showed up, and she showed all the way out. And I don't know if y'all saw, I posted "Prepare to be sick of me, baby." We got content for days
We almost
because
there.
of So VIP Photography. Did y'all know that that's Nick White's business? So VIP Photography. We were in a particular venue,
Yes.
and baby, baby,
You see the church finger going up.
baby, baby. I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, okay. Y'all know I could be extra. Y'all come on here probably because I'm extra. I get all of that. But this whole glam thing, not really my world, right? That's key. That's Tilt's world. She ready. She got the big old fan. She got the leg out. Y'all see it, and she out there. But when I tell you that there is a gifting that comes when you spend time with folks, right? I'm a person, I'm looking. I don't always have to like directly have long conversations with you for me to know. Once I know, oh, you the real deal, that's what it is. And so I could literally say that about our sister Nick. And I say that not just because, you know, she made us we gonna blame you, Nick. You the reason why we was acting up. We just gonna blame you. What? No, excuse me. No, what? Y'all think our photographer is there? Excuse me. You need to move out the way. But I have to recall for our folks, you know, we got together for our live recording. And Nick is taking, I promise you, 1,000 photos, 1,000 of them. You hear me? And then my dear sister gets taller than me. And I'm like, what is going on here? Did we just put on some heels? No. Okay. What type of shot is this that we are climbing on and leaping tall buildings to make sure that the integrity of the shot is what it need to be? Now listen, y'all can get somebody to clickety clack. We got our cell phones, you know, we think we midnight photographer for us, you know, all of the things. But then when Supergirl came in the building, climbing on stuff, you know, you, in the words of my sister Jackie, y'all got to warn the sister when y'all know that these things are possible. It's like, oh, that's how. Okay, I see you. So, Nick, I encourage you keep doing what you're doing. There is a giftedness that comes beyond what you learn about photography when you have a heart of the people and an eye. that experience to be on the other side of that, I didn't pose for nothing. We didn't, do any, okay, okay, we posed on the red carpet, but that's a whole nother level of shenanigans. But just being in a moment, sharing our first time as the full tribe. We started this in 2020. So the majority of what we did was behind the camera. And then we're able to see, look at what God has done through the pictures that we're still combing through the stuff that we still ain't seen yet, but we already know. We done told y'all we gonna act up. We ain't even seen it. But when you got the ones with the little leg out, it's like, oh yeah, this it. Wait, let me. All right. So we acted up and it's all her fault. We could have came there and been regular. Excuse me. Yeah, our photographer, she's trying to get around. Excuse me. Yeah, no, right there. And yes, that's exactly how it went down. So if y'all think y'all could dress us up, take us outside, and it not be a problem, go ahead on and ask Nick White of Soul VIP Photography. That's all I got to say on that. All right, I'm passing the mic back to you,
And that's all
Supergirl.
right.
I enjoyed you, Supergirl.
And she will definitely be back. Nick, I love you so much, girl. You keep being who you are. You keep serving God's people the way you serve. You're an amazing woman. You are an amazing mother. And listen, I'm grateful for the opportunity to sit here and proclaim that you are absolutely an amazing friend. And I am so glad that God placed you in my world. I'm probably holler at you again on Saturday, but that's for off air conversation. So listen, you all are tuned into Unhinged Live. I'm your girl Keita, also known as Tilted Halo in these here streets, sitting alongside my very, very good girlfriend, Coach Cash, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wiki. I got to toss the mic back to DJ Cash. All right, because she serves it. So remember, we do a little bit of this. It's like a whole creative salad. It's a whole creative salad.
Entrepreneur hustler.
It's an entrepreneur. That's it. The entrepreneur hustler salad here at Unhinged Live. All right. So DJ Cash, what's in the rotation to bless our ear gates on tonight?
Listen, when we get together, we always got to come up with something. And tonight, we spending a little time highlighting our brother Bliv Mash. Bliv, I appreciate the person that Bliv is, right? Because we don't always get time to chop it up. But I love this one because we got a lot of foolishness going on. You done talked a little bit about some of it, Tilted. And I'm rolling through which one of these videos can we share? And thankfully, our brother got a whole bunch of them. So go on over there and Google him too. Bliv Mash, and you'll find a whole bunch of things. Some of it is, I promise you, we always have a good time. There may be some shenanigans or not, or yes, definitely. When our brother is in the building.
Why are you trying to be cute? It's always shenanigans.
When our brother is in the building, and there may or may not be some future footage for the Mint Chronicles. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say right now. The Mint Chronicles. So we're gonna tell you more about that at another time.
Start none. Our judge is not in the building right now.
I know, so I'm just telling you, we got some cases being presented before the courts for mercy in the case of the Mint Chronicles. That's all we're gonna say.
Fresh maker. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to let it out. See what you started?
We go ahead and press play so we can get in here. Listen, super excited to be sharing this single with you all. They taking God out of everything. But listen to the messages, because y'all know Bliv come with a funky beat, but he always got a word for the people. And so we're going to be celebrating that tonight as we play this. They taking God out of everything, y'all. Y'all know it's the truth. Here we go.
Level 13. So you wanna kill your brother, shoot your brother, punch him in the face. Disrespect your women to destroy your own race. You're doing the work for the Ku Klux Klan. You so brainwashed, you don't even understand that they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything. That they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything. They don't want us to stand up for our people. Inferior mind state don't want us to be equal. Women trying to raise young kings without a father figure. The rap songs got people calling each other. Whoa, it's bigger. They own radio stations. KKK, expanded manipulation. So how they say that Black Lives Matter when the residue on your hands is gunpowder. I can say it louder, but would you really listen? Or try to vote for difference or even start a petition? Stuck in the system, y'all scared to change, afraid to speak out with fears of being hanged. Come on, Jesus' disciple got crucified upside down. So why would I turn back now? Stand in my ground, destroy barriers, or keep singing swing low, sweet chariot. So you wanna kill your brother, shoot your brother, punch him in the face. Disrespect your women to destroy your own race. You're doing the work for the Ku Klux Klan. You so brainwashed, you don't even understand that they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything. That they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything.
Push me to the ground, hard arrest me without being guilty. Never lived in the hood, but you work and look at us like filthy. The filthy rich needs a switch of reality. Taking good out of everything, blame the salary. There's more casualties than you can even think of. They taking love out the house, now fill his drink up. We can't sink and fall victim to the devil. We some rebels, that's what happens when you stick us in the ghettos. God gave us males, we need to honor our vows. Loyalty has been destroyed, family throwing in towels. School system needs improvement, kids skipping their vows. Old heads can't even sleep, up all night like some owls. Boxing gloves, hit them soft, now my knuckles are bare. Cause we're fighting another war, people really don't care. They kill you over pride, that's why they should look in the mirror. Government get up, secrets, then everything disappears.
So you wanna kill your brother, shoot your brother, punch him in the face. Disrespect your women to destroy your own race. You're doing the work for the Ku Klux Klan, and you so brainwashed you don't even understand that they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything. That they taking good out of everything. That they taking God out of everything.
All right is absolutely correct, Karen. That was the lyrical prophet himself, our dear brother, Bliv Mash. How prophetic were the lyrics of that song? We got to remember, y'all, we got to continue to acknowledge God and put him first in all things so that he has the ability to continue to direct our paths. We are Unhinged Live. I'm your girl, Keita, also known as Tilted Halo out here in these streets, sitting alongside my very good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. So we're going to move the show right along. We got a little piece of showtime left to do for you. So I should have did this while I was out here shoulder shaking to Bliv Mash.
True.
But I got to get it ready because I got to pull out my little thing. It's time, Karen.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm ready.
Y'all know I used to be a choir director, right? So, you know, certain things never leave you. All right. Got the little red dangle on here just so y'all can pay attention. Ready? It's time to point your remote control at the TV screen. Merrily, 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 merrily. Find something to stream or listen to on an audiobook. Yeah. Ooh. It is time for that segment, y'all. We got to talk about some of these things that we have enjoyed, you know, share a little bit of our viewing pleasure. Now, I got to throw the mic to you, Karen, because you were telling me about one of your date night feature flicks. Can you talk to me about this thing here?
Oh, Lord. Okay, so y'all know it's my anniversary month, and the husband is like, we should celebrate every week, you know. And y'all know I ain't saying no to no celebration, but he selected a film, and the name of it was Exhibiting Forgiveness. Now, we don't went in this movie thinking we're gonna be cute and maybe it might have a good Jesus message, and we'll be all right. By the end of the movie, we was in total silence. Can I just say, because there were so many traumatic moments in the movie, and I believe that this one is on like limited distribution. It had Andre Holland, and I'm trying to think, he's in a bunch of other movies, but many other names that we knew. Ingenue Ellis Taylor was also one of the featured artists, and the movie just was so strong. And it was about a young man who had a traumatic experience with his dad, and was trying to figure out, like, mom is in the church, she's all great and happy to see her son, and she was supposed to be moving in with him, but she had a desire in her heart that her son would reconcile with his dad, right? And the son was not having it. He was like, I don't care nothing about you. All of the words was not church words. That's all we're gonna say on that. But he got his point across. He was like, you ain't coming over here. But it opened up the opportunity for discussion between my husband and myself about, of course, his point of view was the relationship with the dad, and how when something gets damaged in a young boy's life, how that trickles and turns into more problems as that young man grows up. So this young man was now married with a child, but still having night terrors regarding the abuse and bad experiences that his family had with his dad, right? And so the dad kind of during the movie shared his limited view of what fatherhood was, and he kind of showcased the fact that he showed up the way that he knew to show up, right? He was successful because his father did a particular thing, and he showed up like his father showed up. But then the son had a different thought of, I never want to be like this. And so he was trying to exhibit that. And some of the memorable lines, one, and I told my husband, like, I saw it from the mother's point of view, and the mother's point of view, it was domestic violence and abuse in the home. And she just kind of took the stance of, that was a bad dream, it never happened, we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to address it. And how many of us kind of take the moment to say, no, I'd rather just act like it never happened, but not truly taking on the opportunity to say, if I don't address it, not only do I have to live with it, but so does my offspring. And so when I tell you, not too many things make me and my husband quiet, one of us going to be talking. As much as y'all hear me talk, he talk more than me. He talked more than me, y'all. That's all I got to say. And we were both in silence, because the exhibiting forgiveness, kind of the moral and the biggest portion of the story, is that sometimes when you exhibit forgiveness, the recipient of the forgiveness, it may not look like the picture or the frame that they were expecting. Because sometimes forgiveness is, I forgive you for what happened in my past, but you will not be in my future, right? So some movies have a super happy ending. This one had an ending. That's all I can say. It had an ending. But the ending began an amazing dialogue that's relevant to my family. And so I really appreciated the fact. I don't think he was expecting that either. He like, oh, we should go see that again. No, being traumatized one time is enough for me. Like, give me some time. Now I got to pay extra and figure out, what kind of mother was I, who I need to forget, go back and have conversations with in my own bloodline. No, we one time was enough. I'm the first one to up and say, but
One
it was a
time was
good
enough.
movie. Yeah,
It was a
it
good
was
movie.
definitely a very deep, good movie, amazing acting, and just appreciate the storytelling that happened, exhibiting forgiveness. So really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, and our sister Nick White, as you see, she said that is many kids' story, and as an adults, we have to make sure when these situation happens, the kids need therapy too, not just us. And
Amen.
I agree with that 100%.
Yes.
Some of y'all may not know I often refer to myself, or these days in conversation, as America's favorite foster child. Um, I thank God, have overcome many of the challenging effect of coming up in traumatic environments, which is why, um, first of all, I can absolutely identify with being a chosen one. But
Mhm.
two, why I take so much time pouring into others. And baby, a few years back, I gave up a wonderful looking salary to make sure that I was operating in my purpose, to remind people that there is hope, because I'm proudly proclaiming today that I don't look anything
Mhm.
like what I have been through. Um, it is very important to give children, as Nick mentioned, the ability to work through their issues and never to dismiss them when they are crying out to you for help. Though you may not necessarily be familiar with their trauma and the things that left them scarred, please, ma'am, please, sir, I'm inviting you to pause, stop, pay attention to them children, because they're trying to tell you something. Whitney Houston sang a song, I believe that children are the future. They absolutely are. So when we leave this earth, do we want to leave generations here that have not been empowered to utilize their voices as whole people? Or are we going to choose to leave them here in broken pieces so they can perpetuate the behaviors that are, anti-kingdom over and over again? I might say perpetuate the behaviors that are anti-kingdom, but those of us that have participated in church, we often refer to them as generational curses. So, yes. Um, Absolutely, Karen. That is actually something I'm going to let my fingers do the walking, and I'm going to find out how I can actually view that, because you already know I'm getting ready to step into more activity and supporting young folks in areas of trauma where God has graced me to walk through, so I can reach back to uplift and help somebody's child move forward into their greatness. So check it out. I had to tap in to that one particular app this weekend with the red letter.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had tapped into that app because Tyler Perry released a two-part series. All right. It's called Beauty in Black.
Okay.
Yes, and the basis of the storyline is a wealthy African American family that is in the beauty business, makeup, hair relaxers, self care products, and all things the like. We got a whole lot of family trauma happening in this family, and we see it played out. And the story centers around a character named Kimmy, whose mother basically, dropped her off somewhere after she turned 17 because she could no longer live in the household with her mother and her mother's lover. Her mother's lover had actually taken a liking to Miss Kimmy and had started doing grown folk things with that child. So, of course, um, as I've experienced in my past, you hear the conversation coming out of this man where he's telling this child's mama, she jealous of you. Baby, I've heard that before. All right, in my lifetime. I've seen it before in my lifetime. So that thing was real and it was a relatable moment to me. But check it out. So Kimmy is out here and she is unfortunately very, very deep in a sex trafficking ring, amongst so many other things. And the story is playing out. One thing I like to do when I'm watching something, I like to see what all the internet critics are saying about a Tyler Perry production in particular. And one thing, I'm enjoying the series, and I can't wait till the spring where I can see the second part of this thing, because this thing ended with a literal bang. And no, I'm not spoiling it, because some of y'all may be saving that to watch it. You ain't gonna come for me because I told you everything that happened. All right. But baby, why is it that we hold Tyler Perry as a creator to such a stringent standard of creativity when it comes to his productions? Yeah, because this man then went and bought acres of land that were once a negative part of our history, where he is now keeping some of our legends employed. The one piece of the conversation is like, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Well, baby, it may not make sense to you because you haven't lived the experience. But there are some of us who tap into Tyler Perry because we get to literally watch this man tell our stories. He's telling our darker stories. And I would tend to believe he's telling some of our darker stories to incite conversation. So we can start to have these dialogues to bring healings within our own families, similar to what you were talking about with the movie that you and your husband went to see as part of your anniversary month celebration. Baby, this is another way where you can ask questions. Well, why did that happen? If you ain't never seen a pimp, if you ain't never seen a hoe, if you ain't never seen a drug addict, if you ain't never seen somebody who was overly sexualized in your personal world, baby, please sit back and pray, because I promise you there's at least 5 people in your immediate area of influence that have lived at least one of those experiences at some times. Notice I said, I heard somebody say that to somebody. She's jealous of you. She's jealous of you. I relate that to generational trauma. Why drop your daughter off at the side of a road like a little puppy that you can no longer care for and choose the abuser because he's making your struggle a little less struggly? As a foster care experienced person, and now as a trained foster care advocate, do you know how many foster children are out there in different homes, not only in our country, around the world, who echo these stories in hundreds of therapy rooms every single day? They are getting the opportunity to talk about it. So I got to take the time to say, I am so sorry if Tyler Perry offended you, or perhaps poke some of the demons that you had so neatly tucked away and refused to address. Maybe that's why you got a shopping habit. Maybe that's why your relationship with that dark liquor is as tight as it is, because you refuse to address what lies beneath. So me personally, I'm going to go ahead and give kudos to Tyler Perry for telling our stories the way he tells them, because we all loved Medea because we can relate to Medea. We got at least one Medea in our lives. And right now, I promise you, I'm in the process of becoming a Medea to my own family, willing to say something quick and slick, but slice it with the word of God so it penetrates your very soul, so you will get your absolute life all the way together dealing with me. Many of us are watching our elders transition to the other side. And we are taking the positions of matriarch and patriarch of our family. And I reminded a friend of mine today that that's your responsibility at this point. You are the matriarch of your family. So what is it that you are pouring into your children? And encouraging her to get to know the word of God for herself. Because how could she know how powerful it really is if she didn't know it? All right. The word works if you work it.
If you work it.
And I am proudly sitting here tonight as a living testimony, declaring publicly, yes, the word of God is alive and well. It is not dead, and it works if you know how to work it. You know, the weapon may form, but it ain't going to prosper. You know, that's a word. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. Y'all dismiss those things as daily affirmations, but it's actually the word. But let me jump off my high horse because I see that time is swiftly getting away from us. So, Karen, we are 1 week away from one of the most pivotal election seasons. What are we, America season 4 right now?
I feel like
call
we
it
are.
America season. Yeah, I think we in season. Is it 3 or 4? Somebody will tell me what season we in because I'm so confused sometimes.
We
But
in the
one thing
season now.
we in the season, ain't we? A season of transition, a season
Yes.
where I can see and discern that there really is a changing of the guard. Me personally, I'm happy that I already took the opportunity to go out and cast my vote early, so I ain't got to be involved in any of the shenanigans that may or may not be being planned at this very time. There's rumors that there's a secret going on, and you know that everyone everyone is not privy to. So yeah, we got to be careful out here in these streets, y'all. Especially now with our bold and beautiful brown cells. Unless we know that God Himself has spoken to us and we've accepted the charge to martyr ourselves. Are you that one? Are you that one? The doors of the church are open. You know, we are always available to pray with you and for you if you are struggling through any situation in your life. You may notice our titles kind of changed on the flyer. I'm actually a life purpose coach, if you didn't already know. And this one here, her focus is goal success, but she gonna encourage you in all things pertaining to life and godliness. We are here. What do you think we're doing with the tribe? It's been spoken all throughout tonight's show. The impact of connection, the power of connection. And, you know, I did share a video, how it started and how it's going. And I must say, I'm grateful for my own obedience in this season. You know, Karen, I'll be out here terrified, like, Lord, I don't even know if this is going to work what you told me to do, so I'm going to be obedient and do it. Look at us now. Look at us now. And even having a conversation with Inner Star Beauty Award winner Marisol Colon on this evening, she was able to share with me how much the tribe continues to uplift her. And she made me aware that there are a number of different people who are interested in joining the tribe. We got some information forthcoming about something that we are getting ready to start. It's going to be small at first, but when the Lord gives the release, the door will be open for many more of you who may be interested in this level of support to come on in the room. Now, before I go ahead and toss the mic to you, Coach Cash, because I needs my word. I'm a little hungry. I'm a little malnourished. I want to go ahead and highlight one of our new tribe members' events. All right. Y'all may not necessarily see her on the screen with us every week, but baby, let me tell you something. I'm going to go where I know she at because I know ain't no foolishness going to be going on. I'm talking about our sister Barbie Cologne. I'm talking about one of the, she too is an entrepreneur hustler. All right. So what you see on our screen right now, our sister Barbie is hosting a celebration of fashion. It's absolutely going to be an extravaganza. Y'all know she won the fashion award within a star on this year. So on Saturday, December 7th at the Delta by Marriott, you see the address listed there because I don't even want to jack up the pronunciation of that little town of Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's got the VIP cocktail hour starting at 5 p.m. General admission, y'all can walk on in the room at 6 p.m. and showtime is at 7 p.m. Of course, there's VIP opportunities, swag bags available to you all, and general admission costs are listed right there on the screen. Now, if you don't have the ability to go ahead and take a screenshot of the flyer, you can go on to any one of our various pages and get the information where you can scan that their link and purchase yourself a ticket if you're available on that evening to go out and celebrate and be fabulous with a whole lot of people from the fashion community. I'm looking forward to this event in December. It might actually be a little Christmas gift to myself because I'm spending a whole lot of time loving on me during this part of my empty nest season. All right. Get with our sister Barbie Cologne. Go on, like, follow, share. She Barbie Cologne everywhere you can find her. All right.
Love it.
So get ready, get ready, get ready. Do I need to do? No, I'm not. I don't need to do it in my TD Jakes, do I?
I don't think so. I think we good.
Yeah, I don't think I can go to that octave right now. My throat been a little bothersome lately.
Okay.
So get ready, get ready, get ready, y'all. We are about to receive some nourishment for our souls from our very own in-house master life coach, Coach Cash, Twisted Threads LLC. Come on with it, Coach Cash. Take it away.
Here we go. Listen, y'all know I'm always coming with a title, and today's title is One Last Cry. One Last Cry. There are so many of us that are, I know, I'm gonna take it there tonight. There are so many of us that have experienced hardships that it's caused us to be stagnant, right? We've experienced a hardship, we've gone through the grief, and now some of us don't know how to move. We don't know how to move forward. We keep replaying that bad thing that happened in our life, or maybe it was a series of things. And so tonight is a reminder and an encouragement. Go ahead and cry that one last cry, right? Let it all out. Let those negative emotions seep right out your face, right out your eyes, whether it's a scream or a holler. Why? Because here's what happened once you get empty. You're able to be refilled again. But if you allow your heart and your mind to be overtaken with grief, to be overtaken with sadness, to be overtaken with failure, to be overtaken with fear, you will never elevate to the place that God has given for you to walk in. We heard our special guest, Daniel Duch, tonight, and what he mentioned about being able to utilize our skills, utilize our talents for the betterment of our community, and not wanting for all of the talents that are around us to be sitting looking at us. But it's going to take that one last cry. Go ahead and empty it out. Right? We talk a lot about strategy success. Well, success only comes after you have trained and set your mind to the higher level things. And sometimes we don't think that us holding on to the hurt, us holding on to the things that we need to forgive the folks for. I talked about that in Merrily Down the Stream. You got to forgive some folks and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Free yourself, right? Free yourself from the burden of hate. Free yourself from the burden of shadiness. Free yourself from the burden of not assuming good intent. It doesn't mean that everybody can have access to you, but you know what happens when those wings start flapping? You get a little higher, and then the things that used to hold you down no longer hold you down. But it's gonna take that one last cry. You know, we don't talk about my former boo Brian. I'm just saying the day he walked away from me, he really lost his mind, but that was a whole nother story. One last cry before you leave everything else behind and move forward. And that's what we got to be thinking about in our lives. Go ahead and let those things go so that you can be watered, right? Be watered by your own tears. Be watered so that your dreams can flourish and grow. Be watered. Why? Because I'm here for the cake. Now, I still got some cake at Keita's house that I'm gonna have to come back and reclaim or find. Rhonda gonna have to bring me some more cake. I know she done ate my cake, y'all. Shout out to our sister Rhonda, who literally bought me cake, because I always say I'm here for the cake. And I was so busy that whole weekend acting up with shenanigans, I forgot to eat the cake. That's all we're gonna say for that. But you got one last cry, get it all out. Why? Because what's next right up ahead? We're planning for the success. We're planning for the cake cutting ceremony. We are planning for the ribbon cutting ceremony. And we're planning that whatever tears of hurt and anguish you've had in the past, honey, what's ahead is only for tears of joy. And you will release because of the blessings that are looking to overtake you. And that's not just for me and Tilted here, but that's for each and every one of you. Make sure y'all putting that in your life. All right, Tilted, I'm throwing it back at you.
I'm catching, and I'm catching,
All
I'm
right.
catching everything that you just put in the atmosphere. Thank you so much, sister, for encouraging us in this way on this evening. It's been a great show, Karen.
Yes.
It's been
It
an
has.
awesome conversation tonight. So I gotta throw in my little just be outro. So the only thing I can say tonight is just be vulnerable. To piggyback off of what my sister said, we get so used to getting up and putting on our Superman or Superwoman cape when we look in the mirror, because as Daniel said in his conversation earlier, we strong. We are preconditioned to show up in a certain way because we are so many things to so many other people. But if by just a little moment, if we take the opportunity to look ourselves in the mirror and just be vulnerable and allow ourselves to have that one last cry, baby, I promise you, the release in your spirit that you experience when you let that actually happen for you, not for the young lady that you helped last week, not for the young man that you're going to be meeting with in an hour, but for you. I promise you, every tear you shed, God has called and numbered by name, and He knows exactly how to capture them and pour them into your new terra firma, your new harvest, to spring up blessings that you do not have room to receive. I keep telling y'all, I'll be begging the Lord to spare me my edges, because after one good cry, the blessings that come through absolutely blow my afro back. So just be vulnerable with yourself as you're sharing and caring for others. This is Unhinged Live. It's your girl Tilted, sitting alongside Coach Cash. Thank you again for tuning in, and thank you to every single one of our replay viewers. That's the end of the show, Karen. It's a wrap. So we out. Until next week, y'all. Peace.